guys, Infinity here. Now, a while back, I was actually looking through some of my old videos just to see like what videos done well, what videos have done alright, which ones were bad. Quite a lot of them were bad. But I came across something that I really liked doing when I first made it. And that was my top 10 favourite movies. Unfortunately, I found out that that video was quite bad. Like, editing, that was the first time I ever did editing, I think. Like, editing, my talking, like, it was just so bad and so cringe. Plus, some of the movies in my top 10 have actually changed slightly, so I thought I would do an updated version. I went through so many movies just to figure out what was in my top 10. Like, literally, I even, rearranged quite a lot of movies in the order to finally be satisfied with the top 10. There are, a handful of, movies that are in this one and the last one, but quite a lot of the list has changed. Probably because I've seen quite a lot of good movies over the years. Plus, that one came out, 2-3 years ago, so my palette has changed slightly. Be sure to let me know down in the comment section below if any of the movies that you enjoyed were in this list, what your top 10 favourite movies are, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to this channel for my 150th subscriber special because we're nearly there. So without further ado, let's get into the video. At number 10, we have Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F. Now, some of you may be confused because I literally shit on Dragon Ball pretty much any episode that involves anime. So, but let me just clarify. Yes, I do not like the Dragon Ball anime, but I do like the movies, and specifically Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F, because that movie is so bloody amazing. Basically, Frieza's minions were kind of struggling after the death of Frieza because they were just really doing a bad job, trying to conquer the whole multiverse or whatever they were trying to do. So they decided to go to Earth, risking their lives, trying to collect the Dragon Balls and then bring back Frieza, which they did. But unfortunately, Frieza was still in pieces, but they managed to bring him back to life using a regeneration machine. And his techniques were kind of rusty around the edges, so he decided to train for the next 6 months, so that way he would be ready to take on Goku and conquer the Earth. For around about 6 months, Goku and Vegeta were training on Lord Beerus' planet, so that way they could eventually become stronger for about 6 months. But at that time, they were unaware that Frieza had returned, but Piccolo and Gohan already knew about it because they knew that Shinron was summoned. And basically, 6 months later, Frieza comes back and pretty much destroys the entire city. Then Gohan, Piccolo, Master Roshi, and what else is his name? Krillin, that's his name, Krillin. Basically, and Tien as well. They all teamed up to try and take down the Frieza Force. They managed to take down his minions without any worry whatsoever. However, when Frieza decided to join in the fight, they basically one-shotted Gohan with a single punch. And he wasn't even trying, he was holding back. So that just proves to you how strong Frieza is compared to Gohan. And then Goku and Vegeta found out that Frieza had returned, and Goku instant transmission all the way over to Earth, so that way he could take on Frieza and finish him once and for all. And oh boy, was that an awesome fight! Actually, it's so interesting to watch. I will literally admit now, the CGI shit. It was not good. It was really subpar. But the fight scene, it was really good. Not only that, I really like to see the transformation of Goku going into Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan. And I also love the transformation sequence of Frieza's golden form. That was definitely an awesome transformation sequence. I didn't do this the last time I did my previous top 10 favourite movies, but I'm actually going to rank all the movies shown in this top 10 from 1 to 10, 1 being the worst and 10 being the best. I would rank Resurrection F as 7 because I definitely think there was loads of room to improve. Like, there was just such bad CGI. I can admit that any day of the week. Like, the bad CGI was literally in the middle of the film and near the end of the film. Like, I did not enjoy the CGI whatsoever. Like, the CGI of, like, Goku and Frieza fighting and the CGI of Jakko, like, jumping all over the place was not good. But the actual movie itself, that was actually brilliant. So that's why I decided to put it at 10. At number 9, we have Seven Deadly Sins, Prisoners of the Sky. Now, some of you may be confused on why I put a Seven Deadly Sins themed movie at number 9. It's just, 1, I've seen movies that could outdo Prisoners of the Sky, and 2, I just didn't really think it was that good of an anime movie. But that doesn't mean it was bad, because I love Prisoners of the Sky. Seven Deadly Sins Prisoners of the Sky takes place around King Bartra's birthday. I think it was like 3 days before his birthday. Anyway, basically, Meliodas was hired to be his head chef, and he was looking for a certain ingredient called a skyfish. He did find a skyfish, but it was in the middle of some sort of pond. He decides to jump down and get one, only to be transported billions of miles in the sky. Like it was so high, it was above the clouds. Like, that's how high it is. And when he stepped out of the portal, he lands in what's called the Sky Temple, which is the home of the Celestials, the descendants of the goddess race. At the same time as Meliodas going up into the Sky Temple, a young man called Salad, who is also a Celestial, decides to jump in the portal and go down to Earth, so that way he could find a being called the Great Oshiro, because he believes that the demon race that was locked away up in the Sky Temple was about to awaken. And oh boy, was he correct. Like, literally, not long after his supposed wedding ceremony, the demon race were unleashed, and also a part of the demon race were these 6 powerful demons that even gave the 10 Commandments a bit of a run for their money. They're called the 6 Knights of Black. And oh boy, were they powerful. In the end, the 7 Deadly Sins and the Celestials team up to destroy the demon race that had taken over the Sky Temple. And I gotta say, it was such an awesome fight sequence. The CGI was actually really, really good. The fight scene's amazing. And it was just all around a really good movie. I especially like the attack sequence of all the 7 Deadly Sins attacks combined into one attack. It was such a badass attack. If I were to rank this movie, I would probably say... like maybe a 7.5. Like, I don't know why, it's just, I feel like I've seen better movies. Like, I'm not saying that the movie was bad, because it was bloody amazing. I just feel like I've seen better. But that doesn't mean it's bad. It's amazing. At number 8, we have X-Men Dark Phoenix. Now, Dark Phoenix took place not long after Apocalypse, which was also a decent movie, by the way. Basically, the X-Men were hired there to do a rescue mission that was up in space because for some reason the government were too lazy to do it themselves, to be quite honest. Basically, they did save some of the astronauts, but unfortunately, Jean was a part of some sort of accident where basically I think she was infused with some sort of cosmic energy, which also allowed her to unleash her true potential power, which was the Phoenix. And oh boy, when the Phoenix was unleashed, she went ape. Like, if you haven't seen X-Men The Last Stand, you will know that when the Phoenix is unleashed, she went ape. Oh, hello, Poppy. I hope you don't mind her being in the video. Alright, back to what I was saying. Basically, what happened next was that Jean actually lost control of her powers. So much so that she actually went and turned on her fellow X-Men. It was so bad that she accidentally killed Raven. That actually hit me right in the heart when that happened. Literally, it got me right there, because as quite a lot of people, pretty much the whole world has a crush on Raven, because she's actually really, really fit. But still, when that happened, and eventually Eric found out who is Magneto, and he went absolutely mental. He decided to turn back into Magneto, track down Jean, and kill her for revenge. What a 5-star mutant, wouldn't you say? After a while, Jean found out what she was doing was wrong, and she gained control of her powers again. He went toe-to-toe against the person who was putting those thoughts into Jean's head. And eventually, she used every last ounce of her power to kill her. I think she went into space to kill her because her power was so great. I can't remember by heart because I don't have the DVD and haven't seen it in a while. But it was such an awesome film. If I were to rank it, I'd give it an 8. Because I would definitely would have preferred this. I would actually preferred it if it was Peter, also known as Quicksilver, that was the one that was dead. And then Magneto showed up and found out that he was his son. And then he went... that would make more sense. I think that would definitely make a lot more sense than his former lover dying. But whatever you want to do, X-Men, you have free will of doing whatever you want. At number 7, we have Ready Player One. Ready Player One definitely had to be here because if you remember, Ready Player One was my second favourite movie in 2018. What's number 1, you might wonder? You'll find out. Basically, what happened in Ready Player One is that it took a decade or two into the future. It was placed in a decade or two in the future, where basically everyone was obsessed with a virtual reality game, which was called the Oasis, I believe. Basically, there was this in-game contest where basically you had to do certain challenges to find 3 Easter eggs, and then those Easter eggs are keys. Get 3 keys, you own the creator's money and free access to the Oasis. For those who don't know what free access means, it basically means he gets to control the Oasis. And this rival gaming company that rivaled the creators of Oasis, I think they were 909 or something like that, 606 or something like that. Basically, they were planning on getting the money first and controlling the Oasis because for their own greedy hands. Because I believe that the founder of a company was actually the creators of the Oasis creators' Coffee Boy, and he didn't really do anything. So there you go. The movie was definitely a must for anyone who's into action and sci-fi, because not only does it takes place a few decades in the future, it has really good graphics, has lots of and stuff that people would be a fan of. It's got Gundam, it's got the Iron Giant, it's got so many references to many different films, video games, and so many other things. It's even got King Kong in it. And not only that, it's got Mecha Godzilla. So that just proves to you how awesome this movie is. I would not praise a movie so much if I didn't think it was awesome. It's bloody amazing. If I were to rank this movie out of 10, I would definitely give it an 8. Because I definitely think that it could have improved. I don't know how though. Maybe just for a bit of a laugh, instead of transforming into a Gundam with that atomic glove, I think they should have transformed into a Transformer. Or not even a Transformer, maybe even a Megazord from Power Rangers, just for a bit of a laugh. I just think that would have been so fun. I don't think they needed to reference more stuff, reference more anime, reference more TV shows, reference more video games, so on and so forth. But that's just my personal opinion. At number 6, we have Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Side of Dimensions. Now, Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Side of Dimensions takes place a little while after Yugi is separated from the pharaoh Yami, or a Tem if you want to call him a Tem. Basically, he thinks about him all the time. Like, he even looks through his deck every now and again because it reminds him of Yami. I'm going to call him Yami, I'm sorry. At the same time, there was a new villain arising, and his name is Diva, or Aigami. He has 2 aliases. At the same time as that was happening, Seto Kaiba was trying to recreate the Millennium Puzzle. He found all the pieces of the puzzle. Then he wants to put them all back together, track down Yugi, and make him put it back on to bring forth Yami and make him and duel him again. Unfortunately, what he wasn't aware of is that Yami's spirit was separated from the Millennium Puzzle and there was no way of him coming back. Or so he thought. Also, we found out a little bit more about Aigami and his role in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Story. Basically, what happened was that his master was actually Shadi, who was the keeper of the Millennium Items. And basically, it's all because of him that he is friends and family got away from a horrible old childhood. And I got to say, it was quite horrible. But then Bakura's father came in and tried to offer Shadi money for the Millennium Ring. He said, you cannot simply pay for it. You must be chosen. And he didn't realise what that meant. So basically, he got the Millennium Ring, but the evil spirit of the ring backfired on him and killed him. But then and Bakura went to go get the Millennium Ring. But then the dark side of the Millennium Ring and Bakura bonded as one. And then Bakura killed Shadi. But not before after he gave Diva the last and unknown Millennium item, the Millennium Cube, which was not canon, by the way. There is no 8th Millennium item. After that, Diva made a plan. He wanted to recreate the world into something pure and happy. Get rid of all evil, all hate, even though it's kind of contradictive because he's evil and he has a lot of hate in his heart. So he can't make a world without hate because he's full of hate. I mean, he's being a bit of a hypocrite if you ask me. Like, I definitely think that this movie is such an awesome movie. CGI, brilliant. Voice acting, amazing. And the story, definitely really, really awesome. Like, I definitely think it's original-ish, like, kind of original. I've seen something somewhat like it, but at the same time, it's got its own originality. It's hard, because, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Side of Dimension has its own originality, and it has things from other movies as well. Like, it's hard to put it in a box. If I were to rate this movie out of 10, it is definitely an 8.5. Like, I love this movie so much. Like, I actually got the DVD for my 20th birthday from my dad, and ever since then, I've pretty much been watching it non-stop. I know that's sad, but it's awesome. At number 5, we have Hitman's Bodyguard. Fun fact for you, this movie was actually in the previous top 10 favourite movies, and it's also in the exact same place. Creepy, I know. I actually only just realised that literally 5 minutes ago. I had to double check. I just find that really, really creepy. I didn't even use my previous top 10 and as like some sort of way of making my new top 10. Like, I literally just thought to myself, wasn't it in the previous top 10? I just double checked 5 minutes ago, and it was. It was in the exact same place as well. I just thought that was really, really creepy. Okay, so basically, Hitman's Bodyguard is all about this Russian president who basically wants to do whatever the hell he wants because he came from nothing and then became something. So he goes around killing who he pleases and doing whatever the hell he wants. And but basically, he found out that someone who is a hitman knows all about his dirty little secret and hired any person possible to make sure that he's dead. So much so that he eventually had to bring in a bodyguard to bring him to court so that way he can go to jail for life. So picture this. We have a bodyguard who thinks boring is always best, seatbelts on, follow the rules, that sort of kind of person. Then we have a hitman who is literally just does his own thing, no matter if he breaks a bone, loses blood, or if it could potentially kill him. And they also, these two people know each other and hate each other. Do you see how this mixes? Like, this mixes so well. They're basically water and electricity. You get the picture? But still, this movie is so amazing. Like, fighting, guns, car chases, punch-ups, death. There's nothing wrong with that sort of movie. Like, if you're into an action movie and also a sprinkle of comedy, this movie is for you. Like, if you're all into that sort of thing, after this video, go watch it. Because I think it's still on Netflix, maybe? If not, I'm sure you can find it on a dodgy website. If I were to rank this movie out of 10, it would definitely be an 8.5. Like, I don't know really how it could improve, but it's still an awesome movie, nonetheless. At number 4, we have Avengers Infinity War. Now, this was definitely a no-brainer. It was my favourite movie of 2018. Not only that, it blew up the box office. What's not to love? Plus, I'm pretty sure pretty much everybody in the entire world saw Infinity War. Like, even my mate David, who isn't into Avengers at all, went to see it, even though he fell asleep halfway through it. Somehow he got his money back because he fell asleep through it, but I don't know how that happened, or how even that works. Like, how can you get your money back if you fall asleep through a movie? How does that work? Okay, so Avengers Infinity War takes place literally right after Thor Ragnarok. Basically, Thanos wants to rid the half of the universe's population because he believes that it's going to destroy the entire universe like it did his home planet because there were too many people and little resources. So he wanted to get all of the Infinity Stones, attach them to his Infinity Gauntlet, snap his fingers, and then wipe out half the population of the universe. Which I think was a really dick move. Because, like, I just think that was a really dick move. But I definitely think it had such lots of action, lots of hardcore fight scenes. Like, it also had quite a little bit of romance sprinkled into it as well. It was quite depressing, I will admit that. It was really depressing. Like, so much so, I literally nearly cried. Like, I was this close away from crying at the end because not only did Gamora die, which I thought was really, really bloody depressing, Peter died. Like, that still sometimes gets me. Like, even though he has been resurrected, that still gets me here. The way he died was just so depressing. Like, I was literally this close away from crying. I am not lying right now. Like, I'm still feeling a little emotional just talking about it. Like, I know that's sad, but that's how much I love the Avengers, and I love every character individually in their own special way. In the end, Thanos completed what he set out to do. He snapped his fingers, destroyed half the population, and then the Avengers lost. But they are soon to redeem themselves. Wait till number 2. Spoiler alert. If I were to rank this movie, it's definitely a 9. Because I definitely think that it could improve, like, maybe they like shouldn't have killed like so many important characters, and I know they got resurrected, but there was just so many important characters. Like, why did you get rid of them? Like, why? But still, it was such an awesome movie. But still, there are 3 others that barely beat it. At number 3, we have Kingsman: The Secret Service. Now, this is the final movie that was in my previous top 10. Unfortunately, it did jump from like number 1 to number 3, because I did see 2 other movies that just surpass it. If you want to find out what they are, wait till the end. It's all about this street thug called Eggsy. Yeah, like I said, street thug, dodgy, not a nice person, kind of like the body warmer, joggers, backwards hat, and like go, alright fam, what's going on, bruv? Yeah, that sort of person. Basically, he got into the wrong crowd, started being not so nice, being really dodgy, but then that all turned around, and this man called Lord Colin of Firth, now his name's actually Harry Hart in the movie, basically offered him a chance to be a Kingsman agent. And then he went through the training academy just like his father did, and then he potentially saves the world. And I'll explain why. So there's this wealthy billionaire who is played by the legendary Samuel L. Jackson, who believes that humanity is making the world sick. Humanity is the cause for global warming, and he wants to do something about the population problem. So what he did was create this free mobile app which allows people to basically turn on their aggression and lose all control of themselves, and go around killing whoever or whatever they see to help reduce the population problem. And he actually saves all the important people, and if they don't agree with him, he just locks them up to keep them safe. Which I think is really wrong, but he's a psycho. What can you do? This movie is bloody amazing. Emphasis on bloody because there is a lot of blood. Like, fight scenes, the right amount of gore, also, like training scenes. Oh, and hello, Parker. Like, literally, like, this movie is such an awesome movie. I would definitely rate this movie a 9 out of 10. Like, I definitely think that there are ways that it could improve. Like, definitely, I just don't know what. Like, I just love this Kingsman. Like, if it was as like since it used to be my favorite movie of all time, it must be good. However, there are just 2 other movies that just barely surpass it, but it wasn't by much. At number 2, we have Avengers Endgame. So, not long after Thanos did the snap, he destroyed the Infinity Stones and part of the Gauntlet, I think. And then basically, they found out that the Avengers found out that he destroyed the stones. So Thor decides to cut his head off. Which, by the way, was definitely one of the best parts of the movie. When he's, like, literally as soon as that happened, he just said, I aimed for the head. That was just bloody fantastic. Then, 7 years later, everyone feels bad about everything because next thing it's their fault, then another person thinks it's their fault, etc, etc, etc. But then after 7 years, they finally decide, hey, let's actually get our shit together! They found out that they had the power to go back in time. So they decide to go to separate time locations, collect the Infinity Stones, use the snap, and reverse everything that has been done. But shock bloody horror, it didn't turn out like that! At first! Because the past version of Thanos finds out that someone else is getting the Infinity Stones. So, just like any old person would do, he decides to follow them back to their time, collect the Infinity Stones, and do another snap. I mean, any rational person would do that as well. I'm sure all of you would go follow people from an alternative future, so that way you could snap your fingers and wipe out half of existence. You know? But that plan failed because they find out that the snap to revive everyone actually worked. So that means all of the Avengers at that present time came up into one big united family of superheroes. Or freaks if you're an arsehole. And it got me right there. As soon as Cap said, "Avengers! Assembled." Like, that just got me so giddy. Like, not only that, when I went to see this in cinema, literally as soon as everybody came back to life through Doctor Strange's ring, everyone was literally on their feet, applauding, screaming, whistling, and as soon as Cap said "Avengers Assembled," everyone started roaring with applause. Like, to be honest, I did the same. My mum thought that was a bit sad, but I didn't. I thought it was bloody amazing. So, if I were to rate this movie out of 10, 9.5, easily. I don't know what it is. I just feel like that I just feel like it's as close to perfection as it could, considering it was Marvel. And I'm pretty sure they blew off their entire budget, making this the most badass Avengers movie. Actually, scratch that. Make that the most badass Marvel movie ever created. It's a shame that Stan Lee wasn't around to see it. Rest in peace. And finally, at number 1, we have Sword Art Online Ordinal Scale. This is, without a doubt, in my own opinion, the greatest anime movie ever. Like, I absolutely adore this movie. Like, I could easily binge watch it every single day. Like, I just love this movie. It's hard to put into words how much I adore this movie. It takes place not long after the Death Gun incident and the whole Yui incident. Basically, what happened is this parent actually had a child who were one of the victims of the SAO incident. Yeah, and as you could tell, he'd be pissed. So he planned to bring forth a augmented reality a game called Ordinal Scale, which basically allows you to do all sorts of things with it. But the main thing is basically fighting old SAO bosses with it. That was definitely the main thing that drew everyone into Ordinal Scale. Also, Kirito found out quite soon that apparently, if you are one of the people that were actually in SAO and you lose to one of their bosses, a microwave gets sent through your brain, making you think about the old SAO incident, and using those memories, they rip out your memories, and those memories go into a drone, and then you forget everything that you experienced in SAO. And he does this because he wants to use this information to bring back his daughter as an AI. Dick move, I know, because this could potentially kill people. So Kirito decides to become the best player in Ordinal Scale. Then fight the boss from floor 100 of SAO, so that way he can stop what is happening forever. And oh boy, was it awesome. I'm sure you're going to see this coming, but this movie is easily a 10 out of 10. And not because... I can think of several reasons why it's a 10 out of 10. Animation, beautiful. Sound effects, superb. Fight scenes, amazing. And the final fight scene between everyone in virtual reality against the floor 100 boss of Ironclad literally had me on the edge of my seat. The animation for it was beautiful, and it was just some of the best animation that I've ever seen in my life. Like, I even think that it could actually be better than the animation of... Now, please don't kill me for this, but I think it's better than the animation for Demon Slayer. But that's just my own opinion. You're free to have your own, but that's just my personal opinion. Like, literally, I cannot get over how much I love Sword Art Online Ordinal Scale. Like, I highly recommend, if you are into anime movies, go watch Sword Art Online Ordinal Scale. You will thank me. And there you have it, guys. I'm sorry this video was a little dragged out. I just had to make this video because I just really love movies. Like, I could easily talk about movies for hours. Like, I'm sorry if you found this a little bit too long and a bit stretched out. I just needed to show you how much I love movies, and I know what I'm talking about. Be sure to let me know down in the comment section below if you enjoyed this video as much as I did, if you actually liked any of the movies that I said on this list, and if you have your own top 10 favourite movies, let me know down in the comment section below, or if you're a YouTuber, make a video about it, and leave a link for me down in the description below, and I will watch it. And if it's really, really good, I will even subscribe to you. Also, guys, I have decided what I'm going to do for my 150th subscriber special. I'm going to be eating as many hot dogs as I can. This video suggestion came into me by my very good friend on Instagram. His YouTube name is Master Michael, so be sure to go follow his channel, and I will see if I can leave a link to it. Last time I tried to, for some reason, I couldn't leave a link, so I may get him to leave a comment in the videos, just that way you can go follow his channel. If you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did, be sure to give it a massive thumbs up, comment down below, share this video with a friend, and if you're new, subscribe to my channel. It's been Inferno today. Okay, that's all from me, so till the next time, this is Infernape, signing off. Bye!